If you have been waiting on USCIS for months or even years, constantly checking your case status and wondering when something will finally move, today's update may be the most encouraging news you have heard in a long time. USCIS has officially announced faster approvals, and for many immigrants, this marks a long overdue shift that could change everything. After years of delays, backlogs, and uncertainty, the system is finally beginning to move in the direction immigrants have been asking for. And yes, this time it is real. For a long time, frustration has been the norm. Applicants filed their paperwork correctly, submitted biometrics, attended interviews, and then waited. And waited. Life plans were put on hold while cases sat untouched. Families delayed reunification, workers postponed career moves, and people lived in limbo, unsure whether approvals would come in months or years. That experience has shaped how immigrants view USCIS, and understandably so. But what USCIS has now confirmed signals a meaningful change in how cases are being processed. This announcement is not just about speed for the sake of speed. It represents a broader operational shift inside USCIS that focuses on reducing bottlenecks, modernizing workflows, and prioritizing long-pending cases. For immigrants who have grown used to hearing bad news or warnings, hearing USCIS talk about faster approvals feels almost unreal. That is why it is important to understand what is actually changing, who benefits most, and why this moment matters. One of the key reasons this update is so significant is timing. USCIS has acknowledged that prolonged delays harm not only immigrants, but also the broader economy and communities across the United States. Employers rely on timely work authorization. Families depend on stable status. When approvals stall, the ripple effects are real. By committing to faster processing, USCIS is recognizing that efficiency is not a luxury. It is a necessity. This shift also reflects lessons learned from recent years. Backlogs grew rapidly due to staffing shortages, policy changes, and global disruptions. While those challenges were real, USCIS has now reached a point where corrective action is possible. Additional staffing, expanded overtime, streamlined review procedures, and increased use of digital systems are all contributing to improved processing times. These internal changes are beginning to translate into real-world results. For immigrants, the most noticeable difference is movement. Cases that once seemed frozen are now advancing. Interviews are being scheduled sooner. Requests for evidence are being issued and resolved more quickly. Approvals that once took many months after interviews are now arriving in a fraction of that time for some applicants. This does not mean every case will be instant, but it does mean progress is becoming more consistent. It is also important to recognize the psychological impact of this shift. Faster approvals do more than reduce wait times. They restore confidence. When people see that the system can work, anxiety decreases and trust begins to rebuild. For immigrants who have lived under constant uncertainty, that sense of relief is powerful. It allows people to plan again, to make decisions about work, education, travel, and family without fearing sudden setbacks. Of course, good news does not mean the process becomes careless. USCIS has emphasized that faster approvals do not come at the expense of review standards. Background checks, eligibility requirements, and security screenings remain in place. The difference is that cases are moving through those steps more efficiently. In other words, the goal is not to lower the bar, but to remove unnecessary delays. Another important aspect of this announcement is transparency. USCIS has been more open about its goals, timelines, and internal benchmarks. By publicly committing to faster approvals, the agency is holding itself accountable. That matters because it creates expectations not just among immigrants, but also among employers, attorneys, and advocacy groups who closely monitor processing trends. For many viewers, the natural question is whether this good news applies to their specific case. While individual circumstances vary, the overall direction is positive. Family-based applications, employment-based cases, and work authorization documents are all areas where improvements are being reported. People who filed long ago and feared their cases were forgotten may now see movement sooner than expected. This moment also highlights the importance of being prepared. Faster processing means that when USCIS does act, it expects timely responses. Requests for evidence may come with shorter deadlines, and interviews may be scheduled with less notice. Immigrants who keep their documents organized and stay informed are best positioned to benefit from this improved efficiency. What makes this update especially meaningful is contrast. For so long, immigration news has been dominated by warnings, risks, and enforcement stories. Hearing USCIS confirm faster approvals feels like a breath of fresh air. It reminds immigrants that progress is possible and that systems can improve when attention and resources are applied. As this video continues, we will look more closely at which cases are seeing the biggest improvements, what practical steps you should take right now to make sure your case moves smoothly, and how to avoid common mistakes that could still cause delays. Good news creates opportunity, but preparation determines who fully benefits from it. For now, the key takeaway is simple. USCIS has acknowledged the problem, taken action, and confirmed that faster approvals are happening. For immigrants who have been waiting patiently, this may finally be the moment when the process starts working in their favor. Now let's break down exactly which types of cases are seeing faster approvals and why this improvement is not random. USCIS is not speeding up everything equally. Instead, they are focusing on specific categories where backlogs cause the most damage and where faster decisions create the greatest impact. Understanding this helps you know where you stand and what to realistically expect. One major area benefiting from faster approvals is family-based immigration. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, including spouses, parents, and minor children, are seeing noticeable improvements. These cases have long been a priority on paper, but processing delays often told a different story. With new workflow adjustments, interviews are being scheduled more efficiently and post-interview decisions are arriving sooner. For families that have been separated or living in uncertainty, this change is especially meaningful. Employment-based cases are also moving faster, particularly where work authorization is involved. USCIS has recognized that delays in employment authorization documents affect not only immigrants, but also U.S. businesses. Faster issuance of work permits allows people to work legally sooner, contribute to the economy, and reduce financial stress. This has been a key driver behind the push for improved efficiency. Adjustment of status applications are another category seeing progress. These cases involve multiple steps, including background checks, biometrics, and sometimes interviews. In the past, even when all requirements were met, files could sit idle for months. Under the new approach, USCIS is actively reviewing older cases and pushing them forward instead of letting them linger. Applicants who filed long ago may suddenly receive updates after extended silence. Naturalization applications are also part of this broader improvement. While citizenship cases were not always the slowest, many applicants experienced long waits for interviews or oath ceremonies. With increased staffing and scheduling improvements, these final steps are happening more quickly in many areas. For permanent residents ready to take the final step, this acceleration brings long-awaited closure. It is important to understand that faster approvals do not mean zero scrutiny. In fact, USCIS has made it clear that efficiency and enforcement are happening simultaneously. Cases that are well-prepared and clearly eligible move faster. Cases with missing information, inconsistencies, or unresolved issues may still face delays. Speed benefits those who are organized and compliant. This is why preparation matters more than ever. When cases move slowly, people have time to react. When cases move faster, USCIS expects applicants to keep up. Requests for evidence may come sooner after filing, and deadlines may feel tighter. Being proactive is no longer optional. It is part of benefiting from the improved system. Another reason approvals are accelerating is better use of technology. USCIS has expanded digital processing, electronic case transfers, and internal tracking systems. These upgrades reduce manual handling and allow officers to access files more quickly. While the system is not fully modernized, these changes are already making a difference behind the scenes. Staffing increases have also played a role. USCIS has hired additional officers and expanded overtime to address backlogs. More trained staff means more cases reviewed and fewer files sitting untouched. While staffing alone does not solve every problem, it creates capacity for improvement. For immigrants, this good news comes with an important responsibility. Faster processing means errors can surface sooner. If there are mistakes in your application, they are more likely to be noticed quickly. That can be good or bad, depending on how prepared you are. Double-checking forms, keeping copies, and responding promptly to USCIS notices is critical. It is also wise to manage expectations. Faster approvals do not mean instant approvals for everyone. Processing times still vary by location, case type, and individual circumstances. Some offices move faster than others. Some cases require additional review. The key difference now is momentum. The system is moving more consistently than before. This improvement also creates an opportunity for people who delayed filing due to fear of long waits. Knowing that approvals are moving faster may encourage eligible immigrants to move forward with applications they postponed. For some, this is the right moment to act, especially if their situation is stable and well documented. At the same time, faster approvals can create pressure. Interviews may be scheduled with less advance notice. Biometrics appointments may come sooner than expected. Applicants need to stay alert and check their case status regularly. Missing an appointment or deadline can still cause serious problems, regardless of overall processing speed. Another important point is communication. USCIS has improved how it updates applicants, but it is not perfect. Notices can still get lost or delayed. Keeping your address updated and monitoring your online account helps avoid unnecessary setbacks. Faster approvals only help if you receive and respond to communications on time. This shift also changes how attorneys and advocates approach cases. Many are adjusting strategies to account for quicker movement. That includes submitting stronger initial filings, anticipating questions, and preparing clients earlier. Even for people who handle cases on their own, thinking ahead is now more important. The broader impact of this announcement is confidence. When immigrants believe the system can work, engagement improves. People comply more willingly when they see progress. Faster approvals reduce fear and frustration, creating a healthier relationship between applicants and the agency. As we move forward, it is important to stay realistic but optimistic. USCIS has confirmed faster approvals, and early signs support that claim. The system is not perfect, but it is improving. Immigrants who understand where the improvements are happening and prepare accordingly are in the best position to benefit. In the final section, we will focus on practical steps you should take right now to take full advantage of these faster approvals and avoid mistakes that could still slow your case down. Good news creates opportunity, but action determines outcomes. Now let's talk about what you should actually be doing right now to make sure you benefit from these faster approvals instead of accidentally missing your opportunity. Good news only helps people who are ready for it. If USCIS is moving quicker but your case is disorganized, outdated, or incomplete, speed can work against you rather than for you. The first step is to review your entire case with fresh eyes. Do not assume that because you filed everything months or years ago, it is still accurate today. Look at your forms, your supporting documents, and your current situation. Ask yourself whether anything has changed since you filed. Changes in address, employment, marital status, travel history, or family circumstances can all matter. Faster processing means USCIS may reach a decision before you have time to correct issues unless you act proactively. Keeping your address updated is especially critical. USCIS notices move faster when cases move faster. If a notice goes to the wrong address and you miss an interview, biometrics appointment, or deadline, the system will not slow down to wait for you. Updating your address online and confirming it is reflected correctly across your accounts is a simple step that prevents serious problems. Organization is another key factor. When USCIS issues a request for evidence, they expect a clear, timely response. Having your documents scattered or incomplete creates unnecessary stress and delay. Create a dedicated folder, digital or physical, that includes copies of everything you have submitted, plus updated evidence of eligibility. This includes identity documents, relationship evidence, employment records, tax filings, and any notices from USCIS. Being able to respond quickly and confidently is one of the biggest advantages in a faster system. Timing also matters more now. If you are planning to file a new application or petition, submitting a complete and well-prepared package increases the chances of benefiting from improved processing times. Rushed filings often lead to requests for evidence, which slow cases down regardless of overall efficiency. Taking a bit more time up front can save months later. For those with pending cases, monitoring your status regularly is important. While you should not obsessively refresh the page every hour, checking consistently ensures you do not miss updates. Faster approvals mean changes can happen suddenly. Interviews may be scheduled with shorter notice, and approvals may come without much warning. Staying alert allows you to respond appropriately. It is also wise to prepare mentally for quicker interviews or decisions. Some applicants are caught off guard because they assume they had more time. Preparing for an interview early, reviewing your application, and making sure your answers are consistent reduces anxiety and improves outcomes. Confidence and clarity matter when things move fast. Another practical step is understanding your eligibility clearly. Faster approvals do not override legal requirements. If you are unsure whether you qualify or whether there are potential issues, addressing those questions now is better than waiting. For some people, a brief consultation with an experienced immigration attorney can clarify risks and options. This is not about fear, but about informed decision-making. If you are waiting on work authorization or travel documents, faster approvals can change planning. You may be able to accept job offers sooner, travel sooner, or move forward with life decisions that were previously on hold. At the same time, do not act until you have official approval in hand. Optimism should be balanced with caution. For families, faster approvals can mean quicker reunification or stability. Spouses may be able to work sooner. Children may gain status security sooner. These benefits are real, but they depend on staying compliant and responsive throughout the process. Every family member's situation should be reviewed to ensure nothing is overlooked. It is also important to avoid common mistakes that still cause delays even in an improved system. Missing signatures, outdated forms, incorrect fees, or incomplete evidence remain frequent issues. Faster processing does not eliminate these requirements. In fact, errors may be identified more quickly, leading to quicker negative outcomes if not corrected. Communication remains key. If you receive a notice you do not understand, ignoring it is not an option. Acting quickly to seek clarification or assistance can prevent small issues from becoming major obstacles. The system rewards responsiveness. This moment also offers perspective. For years, immigrants have been conditioned to expect delays and bad news. Faster approvals challenge that expectation. It is okay to feel cautious or skeptical, but it is also important to recognize progress when it happens. USCIS confirming faster approvals is a sign that advocacy, feedback, and operational changes can make a difference. Looking ahead, this shift may continue if it proves successful. Sustained efficiency benefits everyone involved. Immigrants gain stability, employers gain workers, families gain certainty. While challenges remain, momentum matters, and right now, momentum is moving in a positive direction. The biggest mistake you can make at this point is assuming that good news means you can relax completely. Faster approvals mean higher expectations for preparedness. Those who stay informed, organized, and proactive are the ones who will truly feel the benefits of this change. To sum it all up, USCIS announcing faster approvals is more than a headline. It is a practical opportunity. It is a chance for long-pending cases to finally move, for plans to resume, and for confidence to return. But opportunity favors those who are ready. Use this moment wisely. Review your case, stay alert, respond promptly, and keep your information accurate. For immigrants who have waited patiently, this update offers something rare in immigration news: hope backed by action. If you stay informed and prepared, this could finally be the turning point you have been waiting for.